Just so we're all on the same page, you have a layer that's filled with 50% gray, and the blend mode is changed to overlay, which makes the 50% gray invisible, and you have the default colors. If you have some other color here, you just hit the letter D and you get the default colors. Black in the foreground, white in the background. Okay? In Illustrator, it's fill and stroke. In Photoshop, it's foreground and background. Okay? Then we hit the letter B, B as in boy, B as in brush, to get the brush tool. And I don't know what size brush you have, but right now, don't click anything. Hold down while your cursor is over the image, not over the background, because if I hold down Control out here and click, I'm going to get a contextual menu. But if I hold down Control and Option here, I'm going to get the ability to click and drag. I'm holding down Control and Option. I want the softest brush possible, and I want it, say, about that size. Okay, because I just want to color on the outside with this brush. But I don't want the opacity. The blend mode for the brush is set to normal. The opacity, I'm going to change down. If you click right on this, you can click and drag. And I'm going to change it down to somewhere in the 20s. See, it's 20% opacity. The flow's 100, the smoothing's 10. You know, all these other ones are the default. But changing the opacity is important. Now, don't click and drag and click and drag and click and drag and click and drag, because what you do is you add over and over and over to that. So I'm going to fill this again, Shift, Delete, and then hit Return to fill with 50% gray again. And then without releasing the mouse, I'm going to click and drag along the edge and move all the way around this in one motion. And now I can turn this on and off to see what I got. See how the background has been darkened just a little bit? And then I'm going to hit X to exchange the colors, just the letter X. White is in the foreground. And now instead of 20%, I'm going to lower this down more close to 10. So see, we're at 10% because the white's really strong, especially white on white. And we want to, again, don't click and click and click. Click and hold and just drag this around. I'm just going to fill in this area. And don't worry about overlapping, because if we don't let go of the brush, Photoshop doesn't build up that white. It just makes sure everything's filled in. And then I can turn this off and watch the center of the screen. And you can see it lightens, the outside darkens. And then you can get in and selectively changing your brush size. Oh, I have this turned off. Changing your brush size, you can get in and noodle on individual areas, because I want you to work on this image, but also something else, maybe even something you've done already. And get in and experiment, not just with a vignette on the outside. And you want to be careful not to go too far. I'm going to hit X to exchange those colors and change this opacity back up. That's 18%. That's just fine. And maybe just drag a little more around that outside just to see how that looks. I can always undo this, but right now it looks good. And we've made some changes to this to make it more visually interesting. We've harmed no pixels in the process. And should we want to start over, it's Shift Delete away to fill with 50% gray one more time. I'm going to hit Cancel. For right now, work on this image, work on another image, and then save these out for the web and put these in your mission log. There are no images required for this post, but to complete it, you need to verify that you have put these images, saved out JPEGs of this and something else that you've already done, that you've manipulated and added dodge and burn in order to, on a dodge and burn layer or layers, you can use more than one. But in order to bring out more emphasis without destroying your image, without making it obvious. Oh, look, geez, you added a vignette. That's just too much because I can see it. But you really can't tell here because it's more subtle than that. So do that, and I look forward to seeing your images in the mission log. And be sure to note in your notes that you worked on this image, the Dodge and Burn mission. You worked on this particular mission in order to submit those images. Okay, kind of clumsy at the end, but you get what I'm saying.